Good evening and welcome to the 46th Annual Women of Distinction virtual celebration of women's leadership. We are so excited that you have decided to join us in this space tonight. My name is Carla Gaines, and I am a 2010 Women of Distinction awardee. I currently work for Quartz Health Solution, and I serve over 46,000 Badger Care Plus Medicaid families throughout 17 counties in our state. As I mentioned earlier, I am a 2010 Women of Distinction Award. And during that time, it was when that Dorothy Height, I also am a Delta, Dorothy Height was heavily involved in the YWCA back in the early days. And I was so excited that I was being honored in my community for the work that I was doing. And so now, as we move to 2021 in this pandemic era that we're in, it does not stop the YWCA of Madison of doing great work and honoring amazing women. It is my honor tonight that I get to co-chair, co-host tonight's event with my dear friend and sister, Shiva Vidar. We have known each other for over 25 years, working in the health industry to bring health equity to our community. So again, Shiva, I'm so proud we're together tonight. I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. It's going to be a great evening, a great night of celebration. And right now, I have the honor, the great honor, to introduce to you the CEO of the YWCA Madison, Vanessa Ray McDowell. She's my niece. I've known her almost all her life, even as she grew up in the children's choir. She sang in the children's choir, and we just celebrated a 35-year anniversary just last weekend. Also, you all may know her as a drummer, as a guitarist, and of course, as DJ Ace, playing all over Madison, Wisconsin, and nationally. Also, she is my sister and proud member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, where we serve together as co-chaplain. So again, I am just so happy, so honored that I had the privilege to introduce to you again the first Black YWCA Madison CEO, Miss Vanessa Ray McDowell.
Thank you so much, Auntie Carla, for that wonderful introduction. Thank you all for joining us for our 46th annual Women of Distinction Awards. And I want to just first thank Leo Stanley for that beautiful original piece that you heard during the slide presentation called Feel Like It. Before we get started, um, I really want to respectfully acknowledge that we are on traditional um, land of the Ho-Chunk people as we reimagine what our future may hold. Let us include a future where we widely acknowledge the sacred land that we reside. Now I'd like to thank some of the people who made this event possible. I want to start by thanking the committee. Shout out to Angela Arrington, who is the vice president of our board, also Murphy Dunn, Enid Glenn, Lynn Green, Monica Mims, Verona Morgan, Erica Rosales, Julia Stanley, Grace Chen Willem, and Brenda Yang. I also would like to thank our marvelous co-chairs, Shiva Vidar and Carla Gaines. We would also like to take a moment to thank our sponsors as well. American Family Insurance Dream Bank, MG&E Foundation, Boardman and Clark, Catholic Charities of Madison, All of Us, Research, Program UW-Madison, Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology at UW-Madison as well. Thank you to all of those also who donated to make this event free to the public today as well. You'll have an opportunity throughout the program to donate if you choose to. And also thank you to the Women of Distinction Academy. I know there are a lot of past women of distinction out there. Please shout out in the chat. Let us know that you're here with us. Now let's take a moment to honor that one of our recent Academy past Women of Distinction we lost this past month. That's Connie Ferris Bailey. We'd also like to honor Virginia Henderson and Malele Chikasa Anana, who we also lost in this past year. And any others that we may not be aware of. We just wanted to give a moment of pause to honor them and their legacies. So our theme this year for our Women of Distinction evening, I will say, is reimagining community. The artwork that you see throughout this particular event is from local artist Jenny Gao. It's beautiful. We're so appreciative that Jenny was able to create that for us just for this event. Now, as you can imagine, we all have experienced challenging 2020. And with that, we were unable to hold our annual Women of Distinction Awards last year. So what we decided to do was we wanted to make sure that we were still able to honor the Women of Distinction applicants or those that were nominated in 2020 to make sure that we did not miss their application. So we did not do a call for applications this year. What we chose to do was just take the nominations that we had in 2020 and honor those women today. So we're excited to do so. We're excited to present that to you as well. I also just want to take a moment to cheers a little bit. We were able to work with China Moon, bartender 608, and she was able to share a few recipes with us for tonight's festivities. As you see, I have mine here. And so if you have a cocktail with you, hopefully you have something near you. Toast. We're just toasting to the evening, toasting to the Women of Distinction this evening. So toast to everyone that will be celebrated and honored tonight. And also, let's remember to drink responsibly. So please stay at home. All right, now let's get this thing going. So I'm going to start with our first Women of Distinction honoree. Our first honoree this evening is Nasra Weheli. She is the founder and CEO of Empathy for Equity, LLC. Nasra believes that building a culture of empathy weaves people and communities together in a more genuine way. Her consulting supports the deep alignment between individual and organizational aspirations and daily practices. She has worked professionally in the nonprofit sector for 15 years in various capacities and has served on countless community organization boards. Nasra is a passionate community leader and currently serves as Alder for District 7 of the Madison Common Council. Unfortunately, Nasra could not be here this evening. She graciously accepted the award, but she is currently out of the country. So congratulations to Nasra. Our next Women of Distinction honor goes to Adrian Jones. Adrian is a public health leader and reproductive justice advocate with over 15 years of experience in community health. Adrian joined UW Health Office of Population Health in November 2018 as a program manager for community health improvement. She manages a comprehensive portfolio of strategic initiatives that aim to improve health outcomes for our most vulnerable communities in Dane County through community collaborations and targeted programming. Previously, she served as a training manager for statewide adolescent pregnancy prevention programming, a community health educator for Planned Parenthood of Wisconsin and a program coordinator for the Goodman Community Center's Girls Inc. program. Mrs. Jones is committed to equity, reproductive justice, and Black maternal and child health. Adrian's mission is to see a true change in the trajectory of the health of her community. She's an active board member for the Foundation of Black Women's Wellness and the Wisconsin Alliance for Women's Health. She is a maternal and child health section co-chair for the Wisconsin Public Health Association, in addition to serving on WPHA's Racial Equity Committee. Adrian is a member of the African American Opioid Coalition and the Black Maternal and Child Health Alliance of Dane County. Adrian is a graduate of UW Madison, actually went to school together, shout out to Adrian, where she received a dual bachelor's degree in African American Studies and Women's Studies with a certificate in sexual education. She is currently a master's in public health student at Tulane University School of Public Health and Tropical Medicine. Let's take a moment to hear a few words from Adrian.
Good evening, YWCA Madison. Thank you so much for selecting me to receive the 2021 Women of Distinction Leadership Award this year. It is both an honor and a pleasure that I do not take for granted. I appreciate each and every one of you. I want to personally thank my husband, Todd Jones, my daughters, Vanessa and Olivia. I would also like to thank my parents, Dr. Abel Adekola and Deborah Adekola. I attribute to a lot of the work that I do and the passion that I have for maternal child health, for equity, advocacy, and so forth, to my mom who passed away in June of 2019 of sickle cell anemia. She continues to be my rock and my biggest motivator till this very day, and will always be that. And so it was important to mention her as I thank you all tonight for this amazing award.
Congratulations again, Adrian. Our next Woman of Distinction honoree is Jenny Pressman. Jenny is a passionate community activist, accomplished nonprofit fundraiser, and proud Jewish lesbian mother who has fought for gender justice, racial equity, peace, freedom, and workers' and immigrants' rights for 55 years. Born in New York City to refugee parents who survived Nazi concentration camps and the Holocaust, Jenny was raised to speak out against injustice and hatred, crystallizing her activism at an early age. After graduating from Hunter College High School, a New York City public school, Jenny interned for anthropologist Margaret Mead, studied labor history at Cornell University and women's gender history at UW Madison, and received her law degree from the University of Wisconsin Law School. She practiced law in Baltimore before returning to Madison to direct a private charitable foundation and clerk for Wisconsin Supreme Court Justice Shirley Abrahamson. She works as a director of development and community partnerships with the UW Odyssey Project, the perfect home for her love of people and passion for equity. Let's hear a few words from Jenny.
Thank you to the YWCA for selecting me for this honor. The Y's mission of eliminating racism and empowering women resonates deeply with me, and I'm also moved to be in the company of my wonderful fellow honorees and the decades of other trailblazing women of distinction selected before us. I am an activist and a racial and gender justice warrior, and it turns out a pretty damn good fundraiser. Most recently, raising funds to support the life-changing work of Odyssey and Odyssey Beyond Bars has given me purpose and joy, as well as an inspiring community of students, staff, and supporters. The core of my being is building community, grounded in purpose and love, to make meaningful change to systems of oppression that prevent the full liberation and joy of all people, especially people of color, women, and my beloved queers. I believe in the power of radical love to make change. I believe in the power of people coming together to make change. Much of my passion for racial and gender justice stems from being raised by Elena Kaplan Pressman. Mom embodied love and was a woman of distinction in every sense of the word. Born in Poland in 1921, both her parents were murdered by the Nazis before she was 20. She was a survivor of the Warsaw Ghetto and the Holocaust. She was a domestic abuse survivor. She became a medical doctor in the 1950s at a time when there were very few women physicians. She learned Spanish, her sixth language, while in her 60s so she could better communicate with her patients in the New York City Health Department. She taught me to care for and about people and to be part of something bigger than myself. I'm grateful that my remarkable sisters are cheering me on tonight, and my children, Em and Josh, make me very proud by continuing Mom's legacy of caring and action. I'm also grateful for the many teachers and mentors, some previously selected for this honor, who lit a path for me, including Margaret Mead, Gerda Lerner, Nellie McKay, Shirley Abrahamson, and Emily Auerbach. In reflecting on tonight's theme of reimagining community, I believe we have a unique opportunity right now in this moment of reemergence from pandemic isolation and in response to the blazing focus on racial inequities to make systemic and individual change. All of my experiences have galvanized for me that the world I want to live in and fight for has to be intersectional, and that transformative change comes when those most impacted are at the center. I hope that in whatever ways feels right to you, you'll join me in speaking up and fighting for justice. Thank you again for this honor, and thank you to my family and friends for loving me.
Thank you so much, Jeanette, and congratulations. Our next Woman of Distinction honoree is Dr. Roxy Pence. She is the founding executive director of CEOs of Tomorrow Incorporated, a nonprofit organization where youth innovators and problem solvers become young social entrepreneurs who shape and influence their world. Extending her commitment to social entrepreneurship education, she authored It's My Business, inspiring students' ideas for a better community, a fully developed curriculum resource aligned to academic and entrepreneurship education standards. The book aims or arms educators and youth leaders with engaging social entrepreneurship lesson plans, student activities, and assessments. For 30 years, Dr. Pence has worked diligently in both the entrepreneurial and education fields. In addition to founding and overseeing 2 youth nonprofit organizations, she has served as a state education consultant, culturally responsive teacher leader, district-wide teacher mentor, university teach-in residence, adjunct professor, and classroom teacher. Dr. Pence earned a bachelor's degree in education, a master's degree in business administration, and a doctoral degree in leadership for the advancement of learning and service. Let's hear a few words from Dr. Roxy Pence.
Good evening. I'm deeply moved and humbled to be recognized by the YWCA Madison, whose mission of eliminating racism, empowering women, and promoting peace, justice, freedom, and dignity for all is one that I passionately share. Embodying the same values, I've spent my entire professional career educating, uplifting, and empowering youth, particularly those of color, ensuring inclusive spaces where their uniqueness is celebrated, their minds are challenged, their voices are heard, and their brilliance is showcased. It is important that we not only build a brighter future for our youth, but build our youth for the future. Preventing conflicts of tomorrow means empowering our youth of today. My name is Roxy Pence, and I'm the founding executive director of CEOs of Tomorrow, a nonprofit organization committed to helping youth unlock their entrepreneurial gifts and use them to make the world a better place. And our youth are nothing short of amazing. Since we launched in 2016, our youth have piloted over 100 socially responsible, revenue-generating businesses addressing important issues to them. They've addressed issues like immigration reform, racism, human trafficking, global warming, police brutality, homelessness, and the list goes on and on. They've even donated portions of their profits to local, national, and international organizations, including the YWCA Madison, addressing the issues that they feel are important too. Successfully completing our programs also results in high school and college credits, digital badges, and employability certification, all valuable to get a jump start on the future. In closing, I'd like to take this moment to thank my amazing Women in Focus sisters for nominating me for this award. To my loving and supportive family, especially Martha, thank you for always being my biggest cheerleaders. And a group of people who I feel I can never thank enough, my team and the board at CEOs of Tomorrow. This award belongs to you also. It's an honor to be joining the list of incredible Women of Distinction Leadership awardees who've dedicated their lives to professional purpose, transformational leadership, and community service in order to selflessly improve the lives of others. I admire you all. Thank you very much for this award.
Awesome. Congratulations, Dr. Hintz. Now we move on to our next woman of distinction, and that would be Jeanette Arenas Pineda. Jeanette is a first-generation Mexican immigrant who grew up in Madison. She is a bilingual community social worker for Dane County Human Service, Joining Forces for Families. Before working for Joining Forces for Families, she was a school social worker at Midville Elementary School and remains a member of the MMSD Core Mindfulness Team. Jeanette earned her master's of social work with a double major in environmental studies at the University of Wisconsin-Madison in 2014. As a former undocumented woman, she is passionate about promoting social justice, collective liberation, and well-being. Let's now hear from Jeanette.
First of all, I just want to say thank you. I feel very honored to receive this award. And to all the people that have supported me, inspired me, listened to me, have taken a chance on me, taken care of me, thank you. As a past DACA recipient and current green card holder, obtaining legal status afforded me many privileges, allowed me to have things easier, achieve things faster, but it did not make me more worthy. I was always worthy. Having legal status opened doors, but it did not change who I was. This broken immigration system is harmful to so many people, and is one of the many ways that institutional racism plays out in this country. We know that the systems of oppression will continue to try to divide us with lies about how some people are more worthy. But my hope is that even if we do not know each other, and even if we know little of each other's struggles, we can recognize our interconnectedness and work collectively towards liberation. I invite us to hold on to the following truths, to remember what we are fighting for. We all deserve to live without fear and with choice. We all deserve to have our basic needs met and have access to higher education. We all deserve to be treated with respect regardless of what we look like and where we were born. Let us remember that we all deserve to live, to play, to be who we are without needing to adjust ourselves in any way. We all deserve clean air and water and safe places to gather. We all deserve to be with our loved ones. Over the years, as I have engaged in efforts that have both lit a fire in me and burned me out, I have reflected on the ways in which these oppressive systems live within myself. There is so much to change, there's a lot to fight for, but how do we fight for what we want without harming ourselves or others in the process? How do we appreciate the joys of the present and the struggle for a better tomorrow? To my undocumented community, I offer these words. A mi comunidad indocumentada ofrezco estas palabras. Mi gente, guerreros, trabajadores, madres y soñadores, son belleza y valentía. Siempre han sido valiosos. Descansen sin culpa o permiso. Ríanse, bailen, disfruten su alegría y celebren. Pidan más y discúlpense menos. Tómense su tiempo y tomen su lugar. Cuando podemos sanar, podemos ganar. Sí se puede. Thank you.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much, Jeanette, and congratulations. Last but not least, we have our last woman that we're honoring tonight, and that is the Jacqueline Hunt. Jacqueline works for a mental health clinical substance abuse specialist as a clinical mental health substance abuse specialist and has over 20 years of experience. Jackie has made it her life's mission to bring awareness and acceptance of the disease of addiction and mental illness that plagues many in our society, especially in predominantly marginalized communities and BIPOC communities. She is a fierce advocate for those who are experiencing substance abuse disorders and works to find the appropriate levels of treatment to combat their addictions. Jacqueline has created her own unique approach to helping her community by providing services, programs, and events to promote overall wellness, especially at critical times when people may be at greater risk of increased life stressors, triggers, depression, anxiety, and more. Jacqueline's own struggles and personal testimony has laid a foundation for her. Her approach to assisting others and helping to build them up to believe that they too can overcome. Let's take a moment and hear from Jacqueline Hunt.
I'm standing here holding in my hands a 2021 Woman of Distinction Award presented to me by the YWCA of Madison, Wisconsin. This is a very surreal and humbling moment for me. Most of you know that my life early on had taken a pretty significant turn for the worse. But on my way up and in my early years of recovery, it was at the YWCA where I was able to regain my confidence, belief in myself, and begin to reunite my family. Throughout the years, I have served this community and my family to the best of my ability. I never did anything for recognition. I only did it because I felt in my heart it was the next right thing to do, or I was really trying to keep my own self safe, for I didn't want to relapse. So anytime I was in the community helping or serving others, that was less time that I had to spend alone or isolated. I'm thankful for this opportunity to receive this award because it means a lot. It means a lot to me because all the women before me who have been named Women of Distinction, for the most part, are women that I've known throughout my career and I've respected in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Receiving this award and this nomination from Nancy was really, really special. Nancy was my social worker when I started in 3rd Street all those years ago. So to have come through the shelter when I first moved to Madison in 1990, to moving into 3rd Street in 1996 with my little son Julian, to becoming a board member, to serving on this very same committee, and now receiving this award is very, very humbling. I'm super grateful and super thankful. And I like to say shout out to the other nominees and the other winners of this award, and thank you.
Wow. Did you hear that full circle story? That's so beautiful. We love Jackie at YWCA Madison. So she has been definitely a true servant leader in our community, and we're blessed to have her. And we just want to take a minute just to congratulate all of our women of distinction honorees this evening. Congratulations. We're very excited for you to join the Women of Distinction Academy. And we have this picture here of all of our women holding their vases, their beautiful vases for Women of Distinction. So congratulations again. And we are very excited to sort of induct you into the past Women of Distinction Academy. Now, let me introduce our other co-chair, Shiva Vidar, who is the Vice President and Chief Diversity Officer at UW Health. Hey, Shiva.
Hi, what an amazing evening, and something that we all needed so much after this year and a half. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you for your incredible leadership as the CEO of the YWCA. I'm Shiva Vidar. I am a 2005 Woman of Distinction Award recipient, and I've had the honor to co-chair the Woman of Distinction Award group, the selection group this year with my sister, Carla Gaines. As she mentioned earlier this evening, we've had the honor to work in this community for over 25 years, trying to make the biggest impact we can in impacting our health equity in this community. I want to thank the members of the selection committee, and specifically, I want to thank and honor the women that we heard about tonight: Nasra, Adrian, Jenny, Roxy, Janet, and Jackie. We are absolutely honored as a community to have you amongst us. You make a difference every day in the work that you do. And we welcome you into the sisterhood of Women of Distinction. And we want to also thank those of you who have already supported the YWCA of Madison throughout the year, and also any new supporters who join us tonight. Today, more than ever, the mission of the YWCA needs your support: eliminating racism and empowering women. You may contribute to support women's leadership and other YWCA Madison critical programs, such as housing and shelter, employment and transportation, and race and gender equity at www.ywcamadison.org/WOD gift. We will reshare tonight's presentation on YouTube on Wednesday, June 2nd at 5 p.m. Again, congratulations to the amazing women, Nasra, Adrian, Jenny, Roxy, Janet, and Jackie. Thank you for all you do. And for all of you who have joined us tonight, thank you for joining us. Let's continue working in empowering our women and eliminating racism through the YWCA of Madison.